So why not just release one?
Well, that's how it used to be. And just get this out of the way. There's gonna be a lot of Marvel bashing. It's not. It is not because Marvel's not a great company. It used to be, but I think the main differences between Marvel and DC, first and foremost, is that Marvel is a publicly traded company, and it's all about the bottom line. It's all about the money, and
just Jose will spend a lot of time bashing Marvel. I don't bash him as much.
not on camera. You probably.
No, not on camera. Because I'm a big fan of Joe Quesada. He's a good man.
But no, so I mean, it is all about the bottom line. In Marvel's, for the longest time, DC always had the best backlist, or was the only company out of the two who really had a backlist, like with the Watchmen graphic novel and stuff like that. That's been in print since the trade came out. But Marvel, they don't. I mean, how long has it been since bookstores now are big buyers of comics, because comics are cool and hip now, which probably won't be that way in 2 years because the industry is going to collapse. Thank you, Borders, Barnes & Noble.
It's not going to collapse.
It's not going to. Not as bad. But,
comics will be around for a while.
But
I hope. Unless, digital downloading kills them.
It's not going to happen.
No?
No. Well, everyone said that. Everyone said that, when the internet first came on, you can just download comics. It's not the same thing. It's not the same staring at a screen and reading. It's never gonna take over the fact that you're holding that book in your hand. And, it's just not gonna happen. But kids nowadays, they don't give a shit. Everything is on a computer. Everything's on a cell phone.
I was gonna say,
and they don't even read anymore. So
what it takes is they need to invent the equivalent of the iPod for comics, and the moment that happens, that's going to change everything. MP3 players changed the way we listen to music. We used to carry CDs.
I still do. I don't know what you're talking about.
You carry CDs with you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. No, you're right.
Because we have a CD player here. I have a CD player in my car. Right. I don't have an MP3 player. But I have a CD player everywhere I go. I have one in my room, I have one in my car, and I have one at work. So, yeah, I'm always carrying around like 30 CDs. It does get to be a pain in the ass, but I don't know. Because
you have your new e-readers, and you have and now you see here, none of this is scripted. So we are going to bounce. Remember, we started on Pax Romana, and now we're on iPods.
Unfortunately for everybody, this is not scripted, and this could go anywhere. And chances are, we probably will not get back to Pax Romana for another 3 weeks. True. Just the way things go.
That's true. Okay, but I mean, the moment they invent that thing that you can carry in your hand and read it like a comic book, and then just load a different digital comic every time. I do believe that concept was brought up by Tom Hanks in Big. For those who saw Big,
wow.
He talked about the comic book that you read a different time every time.
Yeah.
And Big did introduce the world to insect transformers and building transformers. Remember?
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
And then they came out.
I completely forgot about the comic book thing in there. Wow.
The new comic book.
No, I remember him sitting at the table with who was in that movie with him, the woman Elizabeth Perkins.
Hot.
But yeah.
Hot.
But the scene where he's sitting down with her at the table and there's just comics strewn all over, and then he's just like picking them up and like throwing them around, like they're all making out and stuff. I'm like, those comics, what are you doing?
Oh, dude, I would have traded all those comics for Elizabeth Perkins in a heartbeat.
I still would.
Heartbeat. Okay, let's get back to Pax Romana, because again, I haven't read issue 2 yet, but I wrote a column on the Comics Waiting Room a few weeks ago, the Comic Culture Warrior Manifesto, where I said, what is this crap about calling comics graphic novels? And I have to say right here, this book gives me a reason to call a comic book a graphic novel, because this is, to me, what I think a graphic novel is.
Yes.
It's very literate. It's got comic book imagery in it, but you can't really. I can't call this a comic book. What would you call it?
Multimedia fair.
Multimedia.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of those things, and from time to time, I'll probably bring up conversations that me and my good friends have, and one comment that my friend Avi made was I said,
Wait, your friend who?
Avi.
Avi.
You'll meet Avi.
Is Avi a male or a female?
He's a female. No, he's a male.
Because I know a female Avi.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's kind of weird.
I think we got to get them together and
I
see
think
if the
we
universe collapses in on
That would be
itself.
fucking sweet. But my friend Avi, I tried to get him to read Nightly News, and I gave him the first issue of this, and he made a joke to me. One of the last couple times I've seen him, he's like, "Oh, did you hear the news about Nightly News?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "They're gonna do a comic book adaptation of it," and I was like, "Fucking asshole." But I mean, it when he says it, it's a joke, but it totally makes sense because it's not really you don't feel like you're reading a comic book. Because in Nightly News, more so than this, there's charts and there's graphs.
Right.
I mean, besides the story that's going on, and it's more of a graphic design presentation than anything else. Because I think Jonathan Hickman actually is a graphic designer. But
this would be a killer PowerPoint. I'm telling you, it would be a
Totally
kick-ass PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Jonathan Hickman, we want the Pax Romana PowerPoint, dude. It would rock. No, but I can see this, especially if it ever went into a digital medium.
It lends itself really well to it. It does.
Yeah, you could do pop-ups. You can do hyperlinks. Do it as a web magazine, a web comic. It would. I think it would be state of the art. Or it's state of the art now.
State of the art.
It's state of the art now. Okay, so.